Alright, boys, so welcome to the second episode of Raw Take, where we discuss everything self improvement and where I give you guys my advice on how to pretty much approach things and my perspective and like what's worked for me so far in my journey, right? So today we're gonna discuss why you can't stick to good habits, um, and the main reason that you can't. I won't bore you with like a 20-minute long video um just to get to the point, right? I'll get to the point right now. um the thing that stops you from sticking to these good habits is that you pretty much start to do all the habits at the same time, right? So you might have had this where like start to implement like two or three habits at the same time. Like it may be like a morning routine or like a fitness routine or whatever, right? And you pretty much try to do all the habits at the same time. Wake up early, go for a run, eat a healthy breakfast, eat healthy meals, whatever. So like those are all good habits, but they're all like a lot of new stuff to you. And you pretty much like do them for like a few days or like a few weeks, and you pretty much stop, right? Because you can't really handle it. Because the thing is, you started doing too much at the same time, right? And I know I've had it like where I started these good habits and I couldn't stick to them for the long run, right? And this is what I've discovered, like it just came upon me like that. Like I tried to do too many things at once. The thing is, like, you need to take it slow and you need to take it gradual, right? I think for a habit to like solidify itself into your routine, it takes about 90 days if I'm correct. Um, and that's a long time, like, and if you put like too much stress on yourself and like if you implement too many habits at the same time, um, then like the chance of you stuck into it in the long run just minimizes by a lot, right? So that's why you need to literally start implementing just one habit at a time, and once it gets up to a 90-day mark, you can implement like another habit into your routine, right? So that's how you should go about it pretty much. Do you ever wonder like why you can't stick to any other habit but you can stick to your fitness routine? Because just think about it. Like when you first started going to the gym, you didn't go to the gym for an hour and like pretty much calculate all your macros and do your cardio and all that sort of stuff, track your protein and all that sort of stuff, because it was a gradual process, right? It wasn't like overnight you just went from like just not going to the gym, just being lazy as fuck, and pretty much going to the gym, tracking your macros, doing cardio, tracking your protein. Like, you didn't do all that at once. You gradually like stepped up to it, right? You first started going to the gym for 30 minutes, then 40 minutes, then an hour. Then you started doing cardio. Then you started, tracking your macros, tracking your protein. Like it's a gradual process, obviously. And if you're like me, like this fitness shit comes easy to us, right? But when it comes to entrepreneurship and business, that's when it like really starts to hurt, because you're doing like mundane shit every day. We literally like you're taking ideas from like your brain and like you're trying to like transcend it into the real world. But it's a lot harder than a lot of people make it seem, right? A lot of like gurus and stuff on the internet, like, obviously this is a side tangent, but a lot of gurus on the internet make it seem like so easy. Like online business is so easy. It's not. But us, like, we find it hard to like introduce the same level of discipline into our like routines in terms of like business, right? And like I'm applying the same thing right now that I just said to you guys in terms of like business and entrepreneurship, right? Just stacking those small wins and pretty much like getting there one step at a time and like one habit at a time. If I sit down and start to like work for like 3-4 hours on end, like without stopping, without a break, like I would be burnt out. So like I need to start slow and stack those small ones, and like pretty much just go about it one habit at a time, right? This is a video to my younger self as well. So like, like just don't be overwhelmed with like all these like, cause like you see like on social media, you see like all these young millionaires and stuff like that, flexing their cars, flexing their watches and whatnot. And you think, and they show you like obviously their routine and stuff like that, their day in their lives or whatever, where they have like these amazing morning routines and like these amazing productivity routines, but like you should understand that they got there in a like a linear form. It's not like overnight they just turn into this like beast. So you need to understand that, and obviously it's a highlight reel of like everyone's days, and you kind of like compare yourself to them, and like it's comparison is a thief of joy, right? Like that's so true, and like the sooner you understand that, the better for you as well. So like I'm not saying like you shouldn't compare yourself to others, because like it's healthy competition is good, right? Like if you compare yourself and you learn from that, and like you apply it into your own life and stuff like that, and that's going to be a lot more beneficial than comparing and like being envious of that person that's doing better than you. See where you can learn from people, and like what you can learn from me right now is like obviously the habits, right? So stack those small habits and like get the small ones, and like pretty much just go up from there. You need to understand that like what you will achieve in the long run, it all comes down to your habits, right? Like what you do within like a day-to-day basis that will get you towards your goals, right? um and it just, I think Chris Williamson said this. You should listen to his podcast, by the way. He said that you will always fall to the level of your habits, and that's so true, right? The person that wants it bad enough is the person that will get it, right? The person that's in the most uncomfortable situation is the person that will persevere and get to where he's going. Because like you should understand that like people are comfortable these days. You can get anything in the flick of a button, or like the snap of a finger. Like you can get food delivered to your house. You can literally get everything delivered to your house. You don't have to work. I mean, you have to work, but like you don't really have to put that much effort if you're like working at a normal 9 to 5, right? You just a robot, like a cog in the machine, right? But the people that will get the furthest is the people that are in the most uncomfortable situation that you can imagine. So like if you're like homeless, like like I came across this guy called Sam Millsap on Instagram, and he was like damn near like about to like break down, because like his car wasn't working, and like he was homeless and like all this sort of shit, and like the only way was up for him, right? And a lot of people don't realize this because they don't know what it feels like to be like really down bad, right? So if you're that down bad, and like you need to get up and like do some shit, you will do it, right? But like then again, like we don't want it to get to that point, right? We don't want it to get to the point where like we're like down really bad, we're homeless and stuff like that. Cause like all that shit is for a lot of people like is only an arm's length away, right? So if you think about it, like people are like like broke and like living paycheck to paycheck, and like if some shit goes down, if someone gets sick in the household or whatever, like you're fucked. Like you're royally fucked, bro. So like, and you might even go homeless. Like, you never know what's gonna happen, right? So what you need to do is like implement these small habits, and like get into a routine where you're like doing something meaningful, and like that will get you towards your goals. A lot of people don't have goals. Like a lot of people say they have like these arbitrary goals, like, oh, I want to be rich, like how rich, like how are you gonna get there? Like no one really puts it into perspective and be like, okay, what am I doing on a day-to-day basis that will get me towards my goals, right? And that's the truth. Like a lot of people just want to get given. You will get given stuff to do if you don't do stuff yourself, right? If you don't create your own path, stuff will be assigned to you. And that's famously known as a wage slave. And also like consistency is what matters at the end of the day, right? It's not the amount of like work you do in a single day. It's those small wins that compound again. Like I'm gonna reiterate this point throughout this video, right? So like it's the small wins and like the small steps that you take towards your goals that will compound over a long period of time and like give you this big picture. Like, fuck, I've done this for like a long time, right? As opposed to like you doing it for like a couple of weeks and then taking like 2 months off, bro. Like that doesn't matter. Even if you do like a little bit a day for 4 months straight, you will get far, because there's 4 months left to this year. That's why I said 4 months. And even if you like didn't do anything the past 6 months, and 9 months, and you literally didn't make anything out of yourself, and you want to get somewhere, you can literally get somewhere within like the next 4 months, right? And you need to lock in now, but like, a lot of people don't, and they think, oh yeah, this year's over, so like, maybe next year, right? Maybe next year I'll get somewhere. But like, if you don't start implementing these habits, even at a small scale, like, you're not gonna get anywhere. The right inputs is all that matters, right? The correct habits that you do every single day, right? Because you can't control the outputs. The outputs are like, let's say like the social media thing, right? It's the views that I get, it's the subscribers that I get. It doesn't matter, like it doesn't count, because at the end of the day you can't control them, right? The only thing that you can control is your inputs and your habits. So the inputs, the effort that you put into your work, the quality and the quantity that you put into your work is what matters at the end of the day, because that's what you can control, right? If you can't control anything else, you can't control the weather, you can't control what other people think about you, what other people say about you. So like, you need to put that into perspective and be like, yo, like, I can't literally control anything but my mind and my body, and like what I put into my work, the effort that I put in, the quality, the quantity, and that's what's gonna get me far, right? The sooner you realize that, the better it is. Because if you try to change like people's opinions about you, and like how other people feel about you, like you can never change that, because it's very hard to change people's opinions, and that's what I found out like the hard way. So what you need to do is just control what you can control, and just stay in your lane, bro. Like, don't deviate from whatever you're doing. Don't jump from fucking one thing to another, like a dopamine rat, you know. So dopamine chasing rat, dopamine rat. Anyway, but like most people aren't willing to do what it takes these days. Like men are soft these days, and like obviously you have the woke agenda and whatnot, but like men are really soft these days. Like they don't like competition, they don't want competition. I think competition's healthy. You just look at what other people are doing, learn from them, combine it with your own thing, and you will surpass them, guaranteed, right? And if you look at like all these millionaires and billionaires and whatnot, they all have like these same like core habits that transcends them into another level, right? And that'll set them apart from like the normal your average Joe, right? And like, you wouldn't think that like mindset plays a huge role in it, but it does, especially getting from like your first 0K to 10K. It's like all about your mindset, like how you view money, and like how you spend money and things of this nature. Like if you don't have like an abundance mindset, you won't get far. You have a scarcity mindset. If you have a scarcity mindset, and like you're so scarce about things, and like you don't think there's enough money to go around, bro, there's like literally like money being printed as we speak, right? And you don't think there's enough to go around, bro, you're wrong, bro. And to get to the money, you need to literally like stack up those good habits, and literally just implement one habit at a time, right? And the sooner you do that, the better it'll be, and the faster you reach your goals, right? If not, you'll be spinning your wheels for like months on end, jumping from one morning routine to another, thinking that it will change stuff, but it won't, right? The habits themselves don't really matter. It's the amount of effort that you put into each one that matters, right? The quality and the quantity, right? Um, and that'll compound. It's like you see the graph of like compounding, and like you won't see like results in a day or two, but months down the line, years down the line, that you stuck to it, and like you went ahead with it, and you will see results down the line. Anyway, I hope I made my point clear, and like what you need to do now is literally lock in, and like choose one habit at a time, go hard, go for 90 days, and after it's solidified in your routine, then jump onto another, well, not jump, but like implement another routine, another habit into your routine, right? And all these are good habits, and the more you oh yeah, this was another thing that I want to talk about, right? If you want to get rid of your bad habits, just replace them with a good habit, right? Because like you need to fill that void, you need to fill that time that you spend doing a bad habit with a good habit, right? Otherwise you'll resort to the bad habits. So that was my little spiel, and that was episode 2 of Raw Take, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.